Okay, so let's just unpack this right away. I want you to picture the scene here. It is Thursday night.
February 26th.
Right, February 26, 2026. We are in the high desert. The air is dry, the night is cool, and the Los Angeles Lakers have just touched down in Phoenix.
They're heading straight to the Mortgage Matchup Center.
Exactly, to take on the Suns. Now, if you are just glancing at your calendar or maybe checking the app while you're waiting for your morning coffee, you might just think to yourself, hey, just another regular season game in late February.
Just a standard matchup.
Right. You see the star power, you think it's a cool matchup, and you move on with your day. But if you really look at what is happening beneath the surface here, if you look at the context, you would be wrong.
You would be profoundly wrong. Because this isn't just a basketball game at this point, it is a stress test.
It is a massive stress test. It is a battle for survival, and quite frankly, it's a battle for dignity.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at a Western Conference that has just become absolutely suffocating right now. I mean, it is a meat grinder.
Oh, without a doubt.
And to really understand why tonight matters so much for our deep dive today, we have to look at the math. Because the math is scary.
It is terrifying if you are a Lakers fan right now. And I think we really need to slow down and explain exactly why the math is scary, because a lot of people see that little sixth place next to their name and they just think, oh, they're safe.
Right, they think they're fine.
They think they're perfectly fine.
So let's actually look at the board. The Lakers are sitting there with a record of 34-23.
Which is good.
It is good. It's good enough for sixth place currently.
Yeah.
That sounds really safe, right? You get a guaranteed playoff spot. You avoid the play-in tournament completely. You go straight to the 7-game series.
But safety is an absolute illusion in the West this year. It really is. Because looking right over their shoulder, I mean, sitting right there in the dreaded play-in zone are these very same Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
And they are sitting at 33-26.
Let's do the quick calculation there for everyone listening. That is
just a one-game difference in the loss column. That is it.
wow.
That is the entire cushion. The gap is completely razor thin right now. We are talking about a 3-game separation, broadly in the standings, but functionally. It is one bad week away from total disaster.
And here is the real kicker for this matchup. This is the final meeting between these two teams for the 2025-2026 regular season.
Which is huge.
That is the narrative arc that makes this so compelling. The Lakers are looking to tie the season series tonight. So why does that matter so much? Explain the whole 4-point swing concept to the listener.
Okay, so in the NBA, when two teams finish with the exact same record at the end of the year, they look at the tiebreaker criteria.
Right.
And the very first tiebreaker is the head-to-head record between those two teams.
Right.
If the Lakers lose tonight, the Suns win the season series outright. That means if they end up tied in April, which is a very real possibility, the Suns get the higher seed. So a loss tonight isn't just taking one loss in your own column. It is taking a loss plus giving the Suns a win plus losing the tiebreaker.
It swings the momentum massively.
It's a devastating swing.
So our mission for this deep dive is really clear today. We aren't just breaking down X's and O's, though we will absolutely get to the tactical friction of having Luka and LeBron on the court later.
Oh, we have to.
We have to. But we need to analyze why this specific Thursday night in February is a pivot point for the entire Lakers season. We need to look at the roster dynamics, the genuinely shocking injury reports on both sides today, and the immense psychological pressure resting on the shoulders of a team that, on paper anyway, should be dominating.
And we really have to talk about the swamp.
The swamp.
The play-in tournament. There is a comment in our source material from a user named DeGusto that just really stuck with me when I was preparing for this.
What did he say?
He noted that this game is a direct confrontation to escape the, and pardon the language here, but he called it the shit of the play-in.
Jeez. Well, it's visceral.
It is incredibly visceral, but it's accurate. The play-in is where the 7th through 10th seeds fight for those last two playoff spots.
Yeah.
It is highly volatile. It's dangerous.
Because anything can happen in one game.
Exactly. You can be the vastly superior team, but you have one bad shooting night, or maybe one referee makes a bad call in the fourth quarter, and your season is literally over.
There's no 7-game series to recover.
None. It's just over. The Lakers are desperate to avoid that scenario.
So what does this all mean for tonight? It means the Lakers are walking a serious tightrope. So let's dive into the context, because you cannot fully understand the pressure of this game without looking at the last week of Lakers basketball.
No, you can't.
They are arriving in Arizona carrying some heavy, heavy baggage.
Baggage is a very polite way of putting it. They are under immense pressure following 2 defeats that the source material describes, quite accurately in my opinion, as embarrassing.
Yeah, let's talk about that embarrassment. Because not all losses are created equal in this league. First, they take a beating from the Boston Celtics.
Right.
Now look, losing to Boston is never fun for a Laker fan. The rivalry is real, it's historic. But the Celtics are the defending champs. They are an absolute juggernaut. You can almost rationalize that loss, right?
You can.
You just say to yourself, okay, tough night against a top-tier rival on the road. That felt like rock bottom at the time.
But then they managed to find a shovel and they just kept digging.
Exactly. They followed up that Boston loss by descending another massive step and losing to the Orlando Magic. And here is where it gets really interesting, or maybe really frustrating, depending on your perspective as a fan. This was not the full-strength Orlando Magic.
No, and this is crucial context for this deep dive. If you lose to a fully healthy Orlando team that is just firing on all cylinders, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs all flying around making plays, maybe you just tip your cap.
Right, because they are young, they are athletic, they're hungry.
Yeah. Exactly. But the Magic team the Lakers played was completely decimated.
Who exactly were they missing in that game?
They were missing Franz Wagner, and they were missing Jalen Suggs.
Wow.
Those are their engines. Suggs is the defensive heartbeat of that entire roster, and Wagner is the critical secondary creator on offense. Without those 2 guys, the Magic are just not considered an Eastern Conference powerhouse.
Not at all.
They aren't even in the top 5 of what most people consider a median conference compared to the West.
So you have this Lakers team featuring some of the biggest names in the history of the sport. And again, we will get to the specific roster in a minute, losing to a depleted mid-tier Eastern Conference team. Why does a loss like that hurt so much more than the Boston one?
It is entirely about the signal it sends to the rest of the league. Losses against contenders like Boston, those can be chalked up to execution or just a bad matchup. Maybe Jason Tatum got incredibly hot. Maybe the rotation was just a little off that night.
Sure, basketball happens.
Yeah.
Right. But a loss to a depleted Magic squad, that signals a severe lack of focus. It signals complacency. In Portuguese, the source material uses the word tropiços, which translates to stumbles.
Stumbles. A stumble implies you just weren't looking where you were going.
Precisely. You weren't paying attention. And in a conference as tight as the West is right now, a stumble is fatal.
Yeah.
It raises a really uncomfortable question. If you cannot beat a Franz Wagner-less Orlando Magic team, how on earth are you going to survive a grueling 7-game series against the elite teams of the West?
It completely shakes the confidence of the fan base.
And arguably, it shakes the locker room, too.
And looking at the landscape right now, the middle of the Western Conference table is extremely balanced. Everyone around them is winning. If you just stand still, you fall behind.
Which brings us directly to the slide risk. We have about 25 games remaining in the regular season. That feels like a lot of basketball left. But in the NBA, that goes by in an absolute flash.
It is the blink of an eye. You look up, and it's April.
It really is. And the worst case scenario is becoming very, very real. The Lakers have fought all season long to stay out of that play-in tournament. They desperately want that top 6 seed. But if they let this slide continue, like if they lose tonight and maybe the doubt creeps into the locker room, they drop another one next week, they could literally wake up in mid-March sitting in 9th place.
Facing a do-or-die elimination game.
Exactly. And you can feel that anxiety. It's palpable. The slide risk isn't just about the mathematical seeding. It is about momentum. Teams that limp into the playoffs usually get crushed in the first round. Teams that storm into the playoffs can make a deep run. The Lakers are currently limping.
Which makes tonight an absolute must-win, but here is the massive twist in this story. If you look at the opponent tonight, on paper, this should be a walk in the park.
It really should.
We are looking at a Phoenix Suns team that is absolutely decimated by injury.
This is the classic textbook definition of a trap game.
Let's run down this injury list for Phoenix because it is staggering. The Suns are missing their absolute heart and soul tonight. Devin Booker is out with a right hip strain.
Yep.
That is 25, maybe 30 points a night just gone from the lineup.
And it isn't just the raw scoring. Let's explain the concept of offensive gravity for the listeners.
Yeah.
When Devin Booker is on the floor, the opposing defense has to panic. 2 guys constantly have to watch him. When he drives to the basket, the entire defense collapses into the paint to stop him.
Right, which opens up everything else.
Exactly. That opens up the corners for the spot-up shooters.
Yeah.
That opens up the lob pass for the big man rolling to the rim.
He bends the defense to his will.
He completely breaks the geometry of the defense. Without him out there, the Lakers' defense doesn't have to stretch itself thin. They can just stay home on the shooters. They can pack the paint. The entire offensive structure of the Phoenix Suns falls apart without that gravity.
And somehow it gets even worse for Phoenix tonight. Dillon Brooks is out. He's got a fracture in his left hand. Now, Dillon Brooks is, well, he's a personality.
He is definitely a character.
The source material describes him so perfectly. It calls him annoying in both the good and bad ways.
Which is incredibly accurate.
But you cannot deny his impact on the basketball court.
No, you really can't. He is their primary agitator. He is their premier perimeter defender. He sets the defensive tone for that entire team. He is the guy who intentionally gets under the skin of the Lakers' stars.
He thrives on it.
He loves it. He would be the one guarding Luka Doncic or LeBron James tonight. He'd be playing them physically, bumping them off their spots, just constantly annoying them.
So you take out the best scorer in Booker, and you take out the best defender and agitator in Brooks. That is a massive blow to their identity as a team.
It completely removes their punch. It takes away the two specific guys who really scare you when you look at the scouting report in the morning. But the list of absences goes on. Cole Anthony isn't even with the team right now. Jordan Goodwin has a left calf strain. Haywood Highsmith is dealing with a right knee injury.
So who are the Lakers actually playing tonight? I mean, this is where that whole next man up mentality comes in, but we are looking at a seriously patchwork group here.
It is a roster held together by duct tape at this point. The Suns' offense is going to have to rely heavily on guys like Jalen Green. And sure, Green can score the basketball, but he is highly volatile. He's not always efficient.
Right.
But then you are looking at Colin Gillespie having to run the show. You were looking at Grayson Allen and Mark Williams playing huge minutes.
Let's look at the projected starting lineup for Phoenix. It's Mark Williams at center, Ryan Dunn, Royce O'Neal, Colin Gillespie, and Jalen Green.
I want you to really think about that for a second. Colin Gillespie running the point guard position against, well, we will get to the Lakers lineup in a second, but that mismatch alone is glaring. Gillespie is a tough kid. He was a great college player at Villanova, but he is fundamentally a backup in this league.
It is a massive disparity in talent. And the host commentary from our sources here is very straightforward. On paper, the Lakers have absolutely every condition to contain these names.
If they take it seriously.
Right. And it is a massive, massive if they play with seriousness tonight.
That is the ultimate variable here. We have seen this exact scenario 100 times in the NBA. A talented team sees the injury report, they see no Booker, no Brooks, and they just exhale.
You relax.
They relax completely. They think they can win the game just by showing up to the arena.
They think the jersey wins the game for them.
Exactly. And that is exactly how you end up losing to Colin Gillespie and Mark Williams on a Thursday night. Because those guys, they are fighting for their NBA lives. They are fighting for rotation minutes. They are fighting for future contracts. They are going to play significantly harder than the Lakers if the Lakers aren't careful.
Which brings us seamlessly into section 3 of our deep dive, the path to victory. Because the mandate from the source material is crystal clear on this point. Sinceramente, no hay disculpas aceptables.
Sincerely, there is no acceptable excuse.
Sincerely, no acceptable excuse for a loss here.
None. Zero excuses. When you look at the sheer disparity in available talent tonight, a loss here isn't just a stumble, it is a full-blown catastrophe. It is a must-win for locker room morale, it's a must-win for the tiebreaker criteria we mentioned earlier, and it's a must-win just to get some crucial breathing room in the Western Conference standings.
So what are the actual keys to the game? How do they ensure they don't fall into this massive trap?
It comes down to discipline and effort. It sounds like a coaching cliche, but against a depleted B team, that is literally all it takes. The Suns are going to come out and play hard, chaotic, high-energy basketball. The Lakers need to be boringly solid.
Boringly solid. Unpack that for us. What does boringly solid look like on the court?
It means you don't gamble for steals in the passing lanes. It means you don't fall asleep on the weak side of the defense when the ball moves. It means you don't try to make the spectacular highlight reel pass every single time down the floor.
Just make the simple play.
Just play solid, fundamental defense. If you force this version of the Suns to execute in the half court, without Devin Booker there to bail them out, they will severely struggle to score 100 points. But if you give them easy transition buckets just because you were lazy getting back on defense, that instantly levels the playing field.
And what about offensively? How do the Lakers attack this patchwork defense?
You have to ruthlessly exploit the mismatches.
Right.
Without Dillon Brooks out there, who is actually guarding the perimeter, who is stopping the physical drive to the basket, the Lakers need to attack the rim relentlessly tonight. Do not settle for contested, lazy jump shots early in the shot clock when you can easily get into the paint.
Speaking of the paint, we have to talk about Deandre Ayton. This is a massive, massive narrative thread for this specific game. Ayton is returning to Phoenix to face his former team.
The revenge game narrative is always a powerful motivator in sports. But for Ayton, this is highly specific. He has been, according to the sources, irregular recently.
Up and down.
Very up and down.
He really is an enigma, isn't he?
He absolutely is. Some nights he looks like Hakeem Olajuwon out there, completely dominant. And then some nights he looks like he would genuinely rather be at home playing video games. But this is the absolute perfect context for him to stabilize his season.
Because he is facing a very fragile Suns front court tonight.
Exactly. Mark Williams is a solid young player. He's a good rim protector. Ayton has the superior size, the superior skill, and he has the internal motivation. He knows this building inside and out. He knows these fans who, let's be honest, are probably going to boo him relentlessly every time he touches the ball.
They definitely will.
He needs to harness that emotion and use it as fuel to be an absolute force in the paint. If Ayton dominates the inside early, it completely collapses the Suns' defense and opens up everything else for the shooters on the perimeter.
Another player constantly under the microscope for LA tonight is Austin Reaves. The analysis from the source material is very direct here. He needs to be more impactful.
Impactful is definitely the key word. Sometimes Reaves can float a bit during games, especially when he is sharing the court with heavy usage superstars.
He tends to defer to them.
He defers a lot. The call here from the analysis is for much faster decision-making. Don't catch the ball and hold it, catch and go.
Be aggressive right on the catch.
Be aggressively going to the basket. He needs to help take the load off with the playmaking creation. With the defensive attention heavily focused on the superstars, Reaves is going to have wide open lanes to attack all night. He needs to take them without hesitation. He needs to step up and be that true third star tonight.
And let's address the elephant in the room right now, or rather the Titans in the room. We really have to look at the sheer star power disparity in this matchup.
It's almost comical.
It really is. The projected Lakers starting lineup for tonight is Deandre Ayton, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reaves, and Luka Doncic.
Just listen to those names for a second. LeBron James and Luka Doncic starting in the same backcourt. That is an absolute embarrassment of riches in terms of basketball IQ, passing ability, and pure playmaking.
It honestly feels like someone built a fantasy basketball roster or a video game lineup.
It does.
Yeah.
You literally have two of the greatest passers and scorers in the history of the sport on the same team. Now, the tactical question all season has obviously been, can they effectively play together?
Because they are both incredibly ball-dominant players.
They are. They both need the ball to be at their absolute best. But tonight, against this specific depleted Phoenix defense, it shouldn't even matter.
Because they are going up against Colin Gillespie and Ryan Dunn.
Right. And with all due respect to those young players, the talent gap out there tonight is roughly the size of the Grand Canyon. This is exactly why the no excuse mandate exists for this game. LeBron and Luka should be able to manipulate this defense at will.
They should just pick it apart.
Pick and roll, pick and pop, drive and kick. It should look like an absolute surgical procedure out there.
If they somehow lose this game with both Luka and LeBron available and playing to a team led by Jalen Green and a bunch of backups, the media storm tomorrow morning will be completely unbearable.
It would be deafening.
Yep.
It would instantly validate every single critic who says this team lacks focus and discipline. It would strongly suggest that having all the basketball talent in the world doesn't matter one bit if you don't have the Orgullo, the pride.
Yeah.
It would completely reinforce the negative idea that this is just a random collection of expensive stickers in an album rather than a cohesive winning basketball team.
That leads us perfectly into the intangibles of tonight's game. Because the raw stats are one thing, but the mental mindset is another entirely. And interestingly enough, the Lakers have actually been road warriors this season.
It is a very strange dynamic, but the numbers absolutely back it up.
Yeah.
They have consistently been playing much better basketball away from Los Angeles.
What do you think that is?
Honestly, maybe it is just a lack of distractions. Playing in Los Angeles is a lot for anybody. It is a massive spotlight. You have the LA nightlife, the constant business meetings, the overwhelming celebrity culture sitting courtside. Maybe getting on the road just strips all of that away.
It simplifies things.
It does. It's just the team, the hotel, and the gym. It fosters this very tight us against the world mentality. So this mini tour they are on right now, this road trip, it really offers hope for an immediate positive response tonight.
It's an opportunity to escape the noise and just play ball.
Exactly. And to focus purely on the game itself. The source emphasizes that Portuguese word again, orgulho. Pride. The team needs to show a strong will tonight. They need to show hyper-focused attention to detail.
They need to completely wash away the lingering shame of those awful Magic and Celtics losses.
That is the real psychological hurdle tonight. You can't just win this game by 2 points at the buzzer. You need to completely dominate from the jump. You need a statement performance that tells the rest of the league, hey, we're awake and we are serious. Recovering that lost dignity requires a complete 48-minute game.
From the opening tip to the final buzzer.
Exactly. Intense defense leading to easy attack. No mental lapses. No blowing 10-point leads in 2 minutes because you stopped trying.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty logistical details for the fans wanting to tune in tonight. We thoroughly touched on the Suns' massive injuries, but what about the Lakers' health status? Are they fully loaded for this?
The Lakers are relatively very healthy compared to Phoenix, but there are a few important notes on the injury report. Rui Hachimura is officially listed as questionable with an illness.
And that's always tricky. An illness designation can mean anything from a mild head cold to being completely drained and dehydrated.
Right, and if Rui can't go tonight, it puts significantly more pressure on their bench depth. It hurts their overall size and switchability on the wing. But on the positive side, Jackson Hayes is listed as probable with a right ankle sprain.
Okay, so he should play.
He should be out there, so they should have his essential rim protection and lob catching available off the bench.
And for those fans wondering about the younger guys on the roster,
Aduthiero and Bronny James Jr. are both currently on assignment with the South Bay Lakers in the G League.
got it. So they are completely unavailable for this contest.
Right, no Bronny tonight.
Okay, so for everyone listening wanting to witness this crucial showdown, here is the broadcast info. The game officially tips off at 11 p.m. Brasilia time.
Late night hoops, you better get the coffee ready.
Definitely. The venue is the Mortgage Matchup Center over in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you are wondering exactly where to watch this one, it is streaming live on NBA League Pass.
The League Pass is absolutely the place to be for this matchup.
All right, let's try to bring this all home. What is the final verdict here? We have looked at the scary math in the standings, the devastating injuries, and the intense psychology at play.
The mission tonight is incredibly simple. The Lakers are standing at a major crossroads. We're getting very late in the season. A decisive win tonight stabilizes their playoff hopes. It keeps them securely in that top 6 grouping. It restores a little bit of dignity after a really, really tough week. And crucially, it pushes Phoenix further down in the standings.
And a loss.
A loss pulls them right back into the mud. It pulls them directly into the play-in conversation, which is exactly where you do not want to be with only 25 games left on the schedule. It invites total chaos into your season.
There is that highly visceral comment from Augusto again, avoiding the shast of the play-in. It really is the overarching theme of the entire night.
Augusto absolutely hits the nail on the head. The play-in tournament is a swamp. You want to avoid falling into it at all costs.
So here is the final provocative thought for you, the listener, as we sign off for today. We are watching a roster featuring LeBron James and Luka Doncic. We are watching a team that entered the year with legitimate championship aspirations. With just 25 games left on the docket, is this specific group of players showing the mental fortitude of a true contender?
Or are they just sleepwalking toward mediocrity?
That is the ultimate question. Can a lineup with that much overwhelming firepower really afford to lose to a team led by Colin Gillespie on a random Thursday?
The answer obviously should be no. But in the NBA, you still have to step on the court and actually play the game.
Absolutely. So my advice to you, tune in tonight, but don't just mindlessly watch the score go up. Watch the effort level. Watch the body language of the stars. Watch how they react defensively if Phoenix randomly makes a run in the third quarter. That will tell you absolutely everything you need to know about where this Lakers team is really heading this spring. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Always a pleasure.
We will catch you on the next one.